We're good. But they want support. Yeah.
Yeah, I had problems myself, but it's out of order. I mean,
All right, we're recording and streaming. So that's why. You guys ready to start the meeting? Should I call the applicant in?
yeah, but I mean, don't want to start 2 minutes early.
Nope.
Have a call. He's from Bowling Green. Welcome. Good car. The title. And nice to meet you. Thank you. You also a Air Force vet? Oh, okay. Put it on hold that, I guess. Okay. There you go, folks. Almost call this meeting of the Erectors order number 721. And I was wondering, first of all, if everyone has seen and read the minutes from our last meeting about October.
Saying that she was supposed to be on the job site if I was there. She ain't gonna do it, so that's why I'm here.
We don't want to say who she is. Not everybody remembers every
That's
applicant.
from Glass City. That's from Glass City site, sitting here.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's the one that started me thinking.
So are you still affiliated with her then?
Like she said, I'm a vendor of hers,
Oh, I see.
but mostly I work with Sona, Jones side. So
But you're with 18 builders, correct?
I own my own business.
You're with- okay.
I builders out of home. She's out of Philly.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. Will I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, we approve the minutes from October of 2021?
I'll second it.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, does this count? Yeah, we did it. Three. Yeah. Bruce? Yes. And
Yes.
the chair votes yes. So do you want me to sign off on this one? Or?
Yes. Sorry to hear that.
We have an application for us. Scott Matthew Ellinger. Ellinger is present. Please raise your right hand. Swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Say I do.
I do.
Thank you. Have all of you seen his resume and application and seen the photos that Jamie sent out? Yeah, photos. Devices. So that we can-
I sent that photo. I sent those footers and cut those direct ferry poles in there. Use the sonotubes. Called, oops, where you dig. Did that.
How big is that thing?
6 foot tall.
Now, questions we ask are going to pertain to what specifically your role was in each of these things, because the license is going to be in your name, should it be granted.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Then there I did everything, the footer, made the cage that went in there. I put the billards, the 4 billards around it, keep the trucks from backing into the sign there with the I did everything from cut the concrete. I cut the blacktop out, dug the footer, had Starbucks come over, he had to inspect it, everything, and then I built that pole. I put the plates on the top and the bottom welder. I was a welder in the Marine Corps. I'm really good. I did everything on that sign. I set that sign up there. And
So is there anchor bolt foundation?
anchor bolt foundation.
How did you determine the size of the anchor bolt?
The engineer that drew it,
Okay.
he decides the size of everything. It has to be on the drawing.
Okay. And you don't do any manufacturing?
No, just what I said. The pole. I made the pole. I put I welded the plates on there. If you call that manufacturing.
The manufacturing of signs?
Of signs, no. I've refurbished them and sold them. Took an old one, gutted it, rewired it, relighted it, refaced it, and sold it. You know, that. But I didn't actually build. I built what's it called? The skirting around it, the pole. Sometimes they got the
Full cover?
the pole cover. I built those with 1x1 square tubing, aluminum. You know, frame it with that, and then wrap it. You know, I got to bend the aluminum. You know, so I wrap it around there.
Are you a licensed electrician?
No, but I did take I'm not a licensed electrician, and I know my scope of practice, and I did take an electrical certificate, which, I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but we have electricians that we can call if needed, and, you know, the electricians are there.
Can you back up please to that last picture? Is that neon or LED?
That sign was already built, and it's neon,
Okay.
and it was an old, they took an old sign and had it redone, but at a neon shop,
Mm-hmm.
and it was ready to go. I installed it.
So was the base plate and the face and the match plate, were those both butt welded, or how were those welded?
The plate, the pole goes through the plate, and it's going on the bottom and the top.
In the top, okay, very good.
Both sides. You can't just put it on there. Well, you got to cut through the plate. I had the plates made through Dallas Steel.
Oh,
I had
okay.
them cut it out for me. Then I actually had to do a little bit of grinding because it was tight. Next time I do that, I'm gonna.
And how many bolts did you have attaching the base plate to the match plate? 4
at the bottom and 4 at the top.
Okay, how did you, what type of bolts did you use for the match plate?
I believe they were 1-inch bolts.
Okay, standard or
Hardened.
hardened or
I always use a hardened.
Okay.
And if you zoom in, you'll see they're hardened.
Yeah.
They're gold colored.
Mm-hmm.
You can zoom in. Sometimes I like to paint them just so the inspector can see that they were gold. I'll purposely miss, the center just so they can see that there was a gold plate, a gold bolt, not plate, but.
And how did you determine where the sign was going to be located?
The city of Toledo made me take a 4-hour test to get their license, and it has to be 20, at least, it can't be no closer than 23 feet from the curb.
You hold the license in Toledo?
I pulled a license in Toledo. I had to take a 4-hour test with Starbucks, sit there and watch me for 4 hours, it was crazy. It was hard. I took a nursing test, passed it too, but I was surprised that they made me do that. But I did it. I took it. I hold a license there.
You hold any other city license, county license,
Yeah, I have a few all over the
township
place.
license?
Yeah. Everywhere I go, I gotta get the license to pull the permit. And I've been,
Require fans?
no, Toledo, so far Toledo's been the only one 4-hour test for Toledo. He sits there and watches you and walks you to the bathroom, everything.
So what brings you to Columbus to want a license?
I work for Persona, and they have a few hotels that they want to switch. They're rebranding, and they want me. They've got me here. Persona, they pretty much own me. That seems, They say jump, I jump. I've done a lot of work.
Is that high rises you're trying to do for them?
I've done high rises already before.
But I mean, here in Columbus, what you're trying to
No, the one in Columbus here is a mid range.
So are you certified to operate a crane?
No, I'm not certified. I hire a crane. I have a crane operator out of Macomb, Ohio, and he works with me. I got him on my phone here. His name's Norm, and he's certified. He has 2 cranes, smaller, one of the bigger.
What about a bucket truck? Can you operate a bucket truck?
I own a bucket truck.
You have a bucket truck, okay.
That's my bucket truck there in the picture. I flew to New York and drove that bucket truck. Bought it, drove it home. Nerve-wracking. I've never bought anything on the internet, but with this pandemic, I got lucky though. Still running it. I owned an older one. I owned a 94 bucket truck before this 05. I just got tired of working.
Oh, yeah, please, I'm sorry.
I did all that with that bucket truck.
What did you do?
I installed everything, drilled through the parapet wall, pushed the wires through, got it all ready, and then the electrician comes in and he hooks up the power. I have it ready for him, then he puts the white, the black, and the green together. Huh?
Has nothing to do with building the letter.
Nothing to do with the letters, and I normally don't do that.
Okay.
They ship them to me because letters have to be made. They got to have a sticker on them. UL.
Yeah.
It's got to have that stuff on there. And I don't do that.
How did you know how to hook up the power supplies and how many?
They sent us schematics. When I was in the Marine Corps in welding, I learned how. I had to take went to school to read blueprints. Welding blueprints are real specific, real detailed down to right. So I'm really good at reading blueprints. But they sent a schematic with
So
me.
who made the letters, gave you an electrical schematic showing you where?
That was Ace.
Okay.
You guys ever heard? I don't know if you. They're pretty big too. They're not as big as Persona, but that was a company called Ace.
So if that's on a parapet wall, how did you mount the power supplies? And
On
where
the
were
back side of the parapet wall, I
Mhm.
put them inside of the can.
Okay. So they were enclosed.
Yeah, they go in there, and then you got to have groundlets. The wire goes in there, all that.
Those are those.
So what was the bottom line?
Some are LED inside. I actually went back and had to take one of the faces off. Them are big faces. I'd take a face off and repair. One of the wires came apart inside there. That's one of the high rises I did for Dunkin' Donuts.
What did you do specifically on that?
So I took the old cabinet off, cut the plate off, beveled it, put a new plate up there, spaced it, put it together, welded it, cover, pass, weld, and then crane came in, and I had an 80-foot man lift. I also work in the equipment yard owned by Kenny Peters. He's my neighbor. So on my downtime, I work in the yard with him, fixing stuff. But anyways, I went up there with the 80-foot, put the new matching plate on there, welded it, stuck it up there. And then I had to make sure the pole was put together right too. All the fillet welds were filled. I think I had to fill a couple of those. Someone didn't fill them completely. So I filled a couple of those, make sure it's put together. Inspect the foundation before I even got out there.
So did the cabinet have a stub or was it a match plate?
It was a match plate.
Match plate?
Cut the old plate off and welded a new one on it after I beveled it.
How tall is that?
80 foot to the bottom.
They changed their look.
Yeah, they did. So Subway they're doing the same thing. Subway's going through a rebranding. Audis did it last year, and you can't even tell. They had those solutions. The only thing different was the line, instead of curved on the end, is straight, slant. But you can't even hardly tell. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. And then I did that there. I think I was in Toledo. I did one in Oregon. Or no, I did that in Toledo. I did another one that was closer down here. It was Akron.
Facelift and halo lift?
That's facelit, yeah, and halo. Those are not, they have the nicest signs I've ever saw right there. They get a lot of bang for their buck because of that. That one there too, same. That's got a halo lit. That was a huge sign. We brought the telehandler in there. That was my old bucket truck. I got tired of wrenching, and then that was a pretty big. We made that. That sign came halfway made because it was too big to truck in. So on the bottom of it, them two poles, I had to weld those in there, and then I stretched that flex space on there. Me and my guys did all that they let us camp out in the parking lot.
How big is it? How tall is it?
Oh, that one's about 30 feet long, and the double pole made it tough. But we did.
So were the poles already there?
The poles were already there on that one. We did the inspection on it, sent pictures and corporate, but that was a tough one. Then that was the front side. They have that high rise out back, and then that mid range one there. Double poles are tough, but
Is that new foundations on that one?
that was the same foundation.
Okay.
That was an old Kmart. They turned it into storage. And then that's Jones sign hires me to do the Menards. We totally took off all the old letters and swoosh and put all new on that back of that fence they had there. That's a foundation that I did for a hotel. I did that completely, everything.
What size was the sign that was going on?
I think the next picture, no, it was a ground mount. It was a ground mount sign. It wasn't suspended up.
And how tall?
Just the top. It went down to the top of that pole.
Oh, okay.
That pole slid in.
So how many years of experience do you have?
I own my business since 2017, but I worked with Sign Me Up Sign Builders for 5 years before that. 4 or 5 years before that. He's the guy that taught me everything got me into signs. And then he moved to Florida and closed down Sign Me Up Sign Builders and let the boys in Bowling Green. So I took the spot.
Who's your shop? You have a shop?
Yeah, I use the equipment yard. Where I work at the Peters, I can take faces in there. We have several big buildings. We can work on big equipment. So
How many people do you have working?
I call them as needed. One guy, when I have a job, I'll call him in. He'll come in. If it's any bigger than that, I have 2 guys come. It's mostly just me. I call a guy when I need him. He has a job, but he works with me on the side. And I have workman's comp that covers him and my business insurance. And then I also did get my bond for your city. I paid for all that. Right? But someone won't let me on a job site. None of these companies will let you on a job if you don't prove your insurance and all of your pay. They won't even let you on the job site.
Well, that's silly.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, so I'm understanding you correctly, you have made no channel letters, correct?
I don't think.
You've made no internally illuminated wall or ground supported signs, is that correct? Cabinets?
No, only refurbished.
Only refurbished, so you've installed ballast and transformers. Have you done any work with neon? Have you repaired any neon?
I have repaired neon, and it was for a neon. There's a couple of them, but I'll tell you, a lot of them still use it. But Outback Steakhouse, they still have a lot of neon. I did a lot of work for them, and also big lots behind there.
So did you physically blow the neon, or did you have the neon
No, I
repaired?
have a neon. I have a custom neon. I have a neon guy.
Okay. What about changing out the
They're
Right.
transformers.
Transformers, yeah. What about changing those out? Have you changed the high voltage transformers?
I've changed them out, yeah, and I'll tell you how you start with those. You hook it all up to your glass first, and then the backside gets hooked up to the power. You don't hook the front side.
Is that right, Joe?
Yeah. You hook the front side up first, you hook the back side up first, you can get hurt.
Chuck's an old neon guy.
That's how I always do my neon, because I don't like neon, because that stuff can jump. You know, it puts out so much of that transformer, you ain't even got to touch it. It'll jump over and zap you. So I'll hook up the glass side first, and the last thing goes on is the power.
So really, the most, in looking at your experience in general terms, really the most that you have done is service and install, but not a whole lot of fabrication.
Not a whole lot of fabrication.
Even though you can do some welding, given, you know, you probably can weld steel
But I
well.
will tell you, I was taught how to make channel members. I can make a channel. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. I can make channel members. You got to have all the crimping tools. After
Yeah.
you put that lip on there, you
Yeah.
can crimp it, turn around there, and
Notchers, yeah.
notchers. And I made them, but I don't make them on a regular basis.
I'm struggling a little bit, to be honest, with even though you've got some experience, you know, we look at both the fabrication and the installation and the service and the install as a whole, and I'm just trying to weigh it all out.
Yeah, because technically, what does the ordinance say about qualifications?
5 years in the installation or fabrication.
Or.
That's what the and is, right?
I'm looking, I've got it here somewhere. I think it's and itself.
I just don't do it.
You do all your own permitting?
Yes.
Are you familiar with the City of Columbus sign code?
Haven't gone over it yet, but
Okay.
I plan on it.
Can't find my JD, so
Looking at that.
it's on you.
Now, it's done.
Just so we're all clear on what we're both on here.
So with Persona, you have 2 projects with Persona in this marketplace, correct?
So far, they're probably going to add more as soon as I install. I have a license.
Then they would ship the signs into you, and you would do the permit secural and then do the install, correct?
Qualifications of an applicant. Application for a license as a general sign erector shall have a minimum of 5 years' experience in erection and fabrication of signs. The applicant, either license, does not meet the requirements A or B, may present a complete statement of qualifications for consideration. The board determines if such person is qualified with experience, training, or education, or any combination thereof, it shall certify the name of the eligible to the department. That's 381.12. Thank you.
So you say you have the 5 years minimum experience, but yet you're suggesting that you've never made a channel letter, you've never made a...
So I have, I just don't do it on a normal basis. I
Okay.
don't do it on a normal basis.
But have you made enough over that 5-year period that we would feel comfortable in voting
Well,
yes?
look what it says on E,
On what?
on section E.
Right.
You're giving a general sign record, like, you will have the ability to erect and service.
Correct.
I think that's the crux of the board.
I'll second it.
volunteers for the general minor exercise. Bruce,
I'm gonna vote yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Chuck, and the chair votes yes. You have your license.
I will make you guys proud.
Trust me, we check on it.
I'll make you guys proud. We always have our reflective gear on, our phones out, we always have the caution tape, I don't miss nothing.
Do you have a reflective beanie?
No, I just have,
No, a beanie, do you?
no,
No.
I just have the jacket,
Okay, well,
and we've used caution tape,
okay.
cones, that's the first thing we do,
Make sure I get it.
after we make sure we got all our paper.
Okay. Well, good luck to you. We appreciate
Thank
you
you so
coming in. Have a good one.
Thank
Yep.
Try to-
That's always a tough one, yeah, when it says erection and fabrication.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's the difference? I mean, I don't understand the fabrication portion, because what you really should be doing as a sign erector is erecting it or maintaining it.
Well,
But, I mean, who cares if you work in a shop and have never, what if you have 5 years? I mean, I can see if you have 5 years of erecting it, I'm sorry, fabricating, but never erected them, then I'd say no.
right, yeah. But he's got a wealth of erection experience.
Yeah, he does.
And he's pretty had his business in 2017, but he said he worked in the sign business 5 years prior to that.
Correct.
Yeah, he owned his own business, but he was
So,
employee. I think you guys maybe have to.
Yeah.
He seems very qualified
Mm-hmm.
as an outsider.
yeah, his friend.
Yeah, right.
Well, I can honestly tell you, I had to abstain from that vote because I've done work for him before. So.
Yeah. It's tough the way it's worded in
Yeah.
that first paragraph.
I almost. What happens if it's time? What if it's time?
Well, then, yeah, you need
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Regardless.
So has he started any kind of time for treatment?
Well, if you have 4, you need 3. If only 3 of us are here, then you need 2. The way your rules are written. Does anybody have any new business to discuss with us? Yeah. You adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. Yes.
Yes.
Unless he has a crick in his neck.
Yeah.